choices. According to varying estimations in the internet, an individual can make between 70 to 35,000 decisions every day. That said, the weight of the choices are not based on how many are made, but rather on what decisions are made and how. This is because even one decision can affect a large amount of people or have the direst of consequences.
This is especially true in the field of communication, where trust is fleeting but takes years to build up. One violation of that trust with a poorly made decision can forever sully the relationship that you, as a practitioner, have worked hard on fostering. That's where ethics play its part. It ensures that we all have the tools as communications practitioners in knowing what decisions are good and what decisions are bad.
I am Genesis Miranda.
And I'm Cheinel Gutierrez. Join us in exploring the deeper intricacies that ethics contribute to the field of communication as a whole. This is the Public Relations Digest on Ethical Communication.
In order to have a practical understanding of what ethics is and what it means for professionals in the field of communications, we consulted a pair of communication professionals for their input and expertise through an online interview. This is what we learned from them.
In the understanding of these mass media professionals, ethics is the standard of professional conduct for all engaged in gathering, transmitting, disseminating, and commenting on news and information. Think of ethics as the railings on a bridge, which helps communicators in staying on the path of righteously and appropriately informing the public. But are there specific codes of ethics that these professionals adhere to in their field?
Several things come to mind. No? First thing is I shall not violate confidential information on material given me in the exercise of my calling. Anong ibig ko sabihin dito? Diba? For example, if you are interviewing somebody and it is a very sensitive issue, syempre you have to protect your source. Diba?
Protecting the interests of your source is one of the many codes an individual upholds to protect his or her integrity as a professional. To list a few more, professionals must also be objective and fair in giving out information and professional advice that is based only on impartial and verifiable data. They are also expected to be independent from any relationships that may impair their judgment and impartiality. And finally, professionals should be competent in their line of work with an attention to the quality of their performance and care for their output.
In the Philippines, there is also a specific code of ethics that broadcasters particularly follow. This set of ethical guidelines is the Broadcast Code of the Philippines, from the Kapisanan ng mga Broadcaster ng Pilipinas, which is an association of broadcasters in the Philippines that requires its broadcasters to undergo a licensure examination that tests their knowledge and capacity to uphold the aforementioned code. The differing professions inside the broader field of communications are symbiotically affecting each other. Public relations and media relations practitioners are expected to have a good rapport with their journalist brothers and sisters. The dynamic that plays within that relationship often has an ethical aspect to it.
A lot, lalo na ngayong pandemic kasi dahil naka-work from home halos lahat, wala masyadong mga physical press conferences, mostly virtual. Mas on hand ako personally na nakikipagtrabaho sa mga media relations officers, lalo na sa government. Unlike before, pre-pandemic na itetext pa namin sila, hahagilapin namin sila sa opisina, mas madalas ko ng katrabaho yung mga media relations officers sa mga government agencies. I guess it is a it is a working process. As a journalist from an institution or from a media company, of course, as much as possible, I try to uphold yung ethics ng organization na kinabibilangan ko. And dealing with media relations officers, kailangan kasing mag-meet kami in between kasi I have my goal. I need a story. And the media relations officers that I get to work with, meron din silang goal from their endpoint na yung storya nila, kailangan din nilang mailako sa amin at ma-deliver namin. Siguro for example, because I am assigned in the OST, madalas ako makakatanggap sa kanila ng mga press releases about researches nila, sa mga studies nila, medyo scientific. So, ako naman, ayoko namang magbigay ng balita sa audience ko na masyadong scientific, masyadong terms, numbers, percentage. So, I will work with the media relations officer. Pwede po ba makahingi ako ng dagdag na data or definitions, mga documents na mas madali ko pong maitatawid yung story mula doon sa press release na binigay niyo sa akin. So that's what I said na it's a working process kasi kailangan niyo talagang ma-communicate to reach your end goals as a journ and as a media relations officer.
In terms of lapses in ethical practices, it is unavoidable in some cases. Some practitioners can fall victim to their own biases and therefore soil the integrity that they should have upheld.
Marami nagbe-breach dyan in terms of ethics, diba? For example, if you are covering a game, UAAP, for example, UAAP, merong area doon intended for the press. Kasama pa doon yung mga campus journalists. Ibig sabihin ng campus journalists, ito yung mga pinadala ng UST, ng LaSalle, Ateneo, di ba? May area din sila doon. Ang problema ganito. Minsan, when their school is competing, if you are from UST, halimbawa, campus journalist ka ng UST, may laban ng UST, you cannot help yourself na pumapalakpak ka doon sa mismong area. Restricted area yon for the press, pero pumapalakpak ka. May violation ka sa ethics. Kasi umalis ka sa pagka-media mo eh.
Given the context behind the examples provided by Mr. Yosores and Mr. Joble, this now begs the question: what is the state of local ethical practices in the communication field? And what can be done to improve the ethical standard in its practice?
Kung meron mang conflict, I guess, dealing with the government media relations officers is may pinangahawakan ding image ang gobyerno. So it's not always every day that we get or I get the information that I need. That's a challenge kasi kung hindi ko makukuha yung isang kahit katiting na information lang from the agency through the media relations officers, paano ko matatawid yung storya ko? Yun naman ang basic na basic na editorial standards in reporting na parang huwag kang magde-deliver ng story na hindi ka sigurado o kulang ka ng detalye. On the side lang ng working with the people from the government, siguro yung sa system talaga kailangan merong magbago. Kasi up to now, yung freedom of information law natin, hindi pa siya ganun kapina-practice. A party, a group, a company, as long as they're open with their lines, I think that's better. I believe yun siguro yung kailangang ma-improve na mas maging open lang siguro yung lines.
Each institution, organization, Our group has its own identity and virtues to protect. But as Mr. Yosores have said, it would benefit the public and the party that wants to promote their organization if more transparency is being practiced. The public has a right to information that has the potential to affect them, which is why laws like the Freedom of Information Bill exist to protect this right.
Siguro in general, be committed to the information. As communication practitioners, parang isang bagay lang naman yung gusto natin. We want the public to be informed. There may be challenges, of course, because we are living in a very complex society. Mahirap maging committed kapag maraming complexities. I guess yun yung unang-unang dapat na i-uphold ng isang individual na would want to pursue a career in the field of communication.
As future practitioners in this field, we have a duty to uphold, and to be committed is a calling to a more ethically sound and informed society. The public deserves the right information. That is why our question now is, how committed are you? And what choices can you make?
Communication is all around us, and the decisions that challenge the way we practice communication waits just around the bend. This has been the Public Relations Digest on Ethical Communication. Thank you for watching.